Yo, what's up, YouTube? Is this your boy Dante coming to you with the episode of Keeping It a Buck? Look, we're gonna talk about everything today. Everything. We're gonna talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's putting articles of impeachment for President Biden. I don't know where that's gonna go. But anyway, we're going to talk about these soaring gas prices. We're going to talk about Dr. Fraud or Dr. Fauci telling lies. Yeah, and we're going to do a couple of shout outs. We're going to talk about this thing, and also we're going to talk about all hope is not lost. So we're going to talk about a few things today. So I just want to come on real quick and just kind of share some things with you that has been concerning to me. So we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, we're going to get into the video in a few moments here. I just want to give a shout out to everybody that has supported this channel thus far. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I don't understand how I have over 1,100 subscribers, but I only have like 24 views or 10 views or 6 views. Make that make sense to me. I don't understand. To everybody that subscribed, I definitely appreciate it. I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I just want to say that if you like the content, like, share, and subscribe. Also, I want to shout out Burberry is doing a live tonight, if I'm not mistaken, at 5 p.m. I believe that's Pacific time. I think I may be wrong, but I know it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So you figure that out. But anyway, again, but without further ado, let's get into the video. We're going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and how she's, entering, articles of impeachment for President Biden. We're going to kind of see what she's talking about. I'm going to give some commentary on that, and then we're going to move forward. All right. So let me go ahead and get to that video and pull that up here. Here we go.
Introduced House Res 57. These are articles of impeachment on President Biden for abuse of power in regards to his willingness to use his position of power to aid his son Hunter Biden and their business dealings. I've also introduced another article of impeachment on President Biden, which is HRES 597. This has to do with the national security crisis that President Biden has created with regards to the extreme threat at the southern border. I've introduced House Res 598, articles of impeachment on President Biden in regards to the failure in Afghanistan. And I've introduced House Res 596, articles of impeachment on President Biden for the COVID eviction moratorium and his willingness to use his position to try to do what he shouldn't be doing. We have three branches of power. Now, this is not an issue that is just important to me. This is an issue that's important to the American people. You see, the American people in polling just recently, there's a range between 60% of Americans that say that Joe Biden should be impeached, but it goes as high as 83% of Republicans think President Biden deserves to be impeached. 58% of independents and 40% of Democrats agreeing that President Biden should be impeached for his failures to the American people as president. Let's talk about some of those failures.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, if, President Biden is removed from being in the White House, then that means we get Kamala Harris. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. We get Kamala Harris. Nobody wants that. I even saw a video earlier of her kissing her husband again in a mask. And we don't think something is wrong with that. We don't think that something is going on. Something is very, very, very bad and very, very wrong with this state of affairs. And I know a lot of people saying that, you black and you supposed to be Democrat and you supposed to be liberal and you should be going for all these different, things that they're doing. No, I'm not going for it because not only is it hurting the children, but it's hurting American families. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, doesn't matter if you are whatever, a socialist or whatever. This is hurting Americans as a whole. The things that are going on is hurting America as a whole. So when I see Marjorie Taylor Greene, entering, articles of impeachment for President Joe Biden, I say, good job. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go, because again, the swamp is the swamp, and the swamp creatures go do what the swamp creatures do. They're going to do exactly what they do. They're going to hide and protect those so they can keep their money flowing and they can stay in positions of power. I was looking at Condoleezza Rice. She was on The View. I don't even understand how they are the number one talk show or TV show on daytime programming. I don't see how, because them women are nuts. But Condoleezza Rice was saying that, hey, it's time to basically get some new blood in these positions of power. Because some of these oligarchs and some of these people that have run around here, they've been in position of power too long. We already see the resident that we got living in the Oval Office had been in the Senate for 47 years and did nothing. Oh, I take that back. He locked up a lot of people that look like me. He did that. And I don't understand how in whole heaven and hell would anybody support somebody like him. And he's done all these things. It was a debacle over there with Afghanistan. We already know what's going on with the border crisis. And I really feel like that Joe Biden is basically trying to replace his voting bloc. That's just my opinion. And YouTube, I know y'all have a problem with people giving their opinions, but it's just my opinion. I think that he's basically trying to replace his voting bloc. Kamala Harris ain't been down there. Joe Biden said he ain't been down there because he ain't got time. You make time for everything else. You're making time for this $3.5 trillion, full of pork stimulus bill or whatever y'all want to come up with, infrastructure and, reconciliation and all this and the third, most things that Americans don't really fully understand, but yet and still you want to come up with this stuff. You don't want to talk about how, Joe Biden is just, in cahoots with his son, where his son got him a lot of money, because he's the big guy. Remember, the big guy, we got to give money to the big guy, 10%. I don't understand why Americans are not outraged by this, but yeah, you was mad because they came up with 2 sham impeachments, in my opinion now, for Donald Trump, because they say he colluded with Russia. They say that he basically incited the January the 6th, insurrection, and nobody's been charged with insurrection. I don't think people understand what insurrection means. Insurrection, if they was trying to overthrow government, I'm quite sure they wouldn't have went with no flagpoles. They wouldn't have went with no signs. They would have went with their Second Amendment right. That's what the Second Amendment right is for, right? It's for us and against a tyrannical government. That's what it's for. But most people don't want that kind of truth. Now let's go to the gas prices, because I want y'all to see in California how much the gas is. I mean, it's just ridiculous how high the gas have gotten. So let's go there and let's see what they're doing there. Let me go ahead and share my screen because I noticed that when I do my videos through StreamYard, they kind of slow down. So let's see what the gas prices are in California. Let's go.
Price for a gallon of regular gas in LA County is now $4.52 a gallon. That's the highest it's been since October of 2012. Experts say prices will continue to climb in the coming weeks. Meantime, in Central California, the price of gas is $7.59 in the city of Gorda. Might be one of the highest reported prices on the Central Coast. Now, keep in mind, gas is always expensive there because of its remote location south of Big Sur.
Now, y'all see for yourself. Now, let's go back and see something else, because I want to kind of, make sure that we understand what's going on, because we had another Democrat that was in positions of power 9 years ago, and I found this video, and I want to share this to see what happened, because when Osama bin Laden, that's why I call it bin Laden. Obama Hussein was in there. Barack Hussein Obama was in the White House. We see what happened. Let's see.
Is getting out west, getting hit the hardest. Out west is getting hit the hardest right now. Some gas stations are even closing down because prices are so high and gas is so scarce. And ABC's Abby Bedreau was in Los Angeles with the very latest on this story this morning. Good morning, Abby.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Just take a look at the sign behind me. Almost $6 a gallon. Even Costco had to shut down some of its pumps yesterday, and drivers are getting fed up. Sticker shock at gas stations across California.
Gas is killing us, absolutely killing us.
At this station Thursday, an outrageous $5.69 for a gallon of regular unleaded and $5.99 for premium.
I thought they were pretty high. I didn't even actually look. Oh, shoot. Yesterday was like 4 something, right?
Yeah. Recent refinery fires in California and pipeline problems are driving prices through the roof and causing California reserves to hit a 10-year low. So some gas stations were forced to shut down their pumps. Here and across the country, gas is pumping up to the highest prices ever for this time of year. The national average is up to $3.78, but in many states, prices are topping $4 a gallon. In Washington state, $4.03. In New York and Connecticut, $4.10. And here in California, gas is up 45 cents from this time last year, averaging at $4.32 a gallon.
This is the worst it's ever been. This is the highest gas prices we've ever had.
The owner here hopes customers don't blame her. This is what I love. We're sorry, it's not our fault.
It's not our fault. We have no choice.
But George and Elizabeth, prices will soon bottom out right around Thanksgiving time, around $3.50. At least that's the prediction by analysts. George and Elizabeth?
George, now to those soaring gas.
Now, as we see, gas is up again. And they were saying back in 2012, we've never seen it like this. This is the worst it's ever been, right? But we see here in 2021, what happened before is happening again. Hey, what's going on, Miss Francis? How you doing today? As we see now, what happened before has happened again, and it's sad. And you know what, Miss Francis, these gas prices are getting ridiculous. I agree with you. And this is the thing, like, what I don't understand is like Biden came in and he did everything that Trump did in reverse. We was energy independent. We had a, economy that was booming in the last 50 years. I mean, all-time high. Then we got hit with this pandemic, and we're going to talk about Dr. Fauci or Dr. Fraud telling lies to the American people. And this is why nobody trusts him. I'm being honest. This is why I vehemently refuse to take that jab. Now, to those that have done it, to each his own. But for me, I can't trust it because, Dr. Fraud came out of his own mouth arguing with Ron Paul, saying that basically that Ron was a liar because he didn't know what he was talking about when it came to the gain of function. And then the NIH came out and substantiated what Ron Paul was saying. So Ron Paul should feel vindicated, but we'll get into that in just 1 second. But as I was saying, the gas prices are ridiculous. And we not understand how inflation is hurting people. People that are making a decent amount of money, they're not seeing their money because of the simple fact they're having to pay more for their goods. They're having to pay more for gas, more for food, more for everything. Everything is just up. And we think that this is a successful regime that we have up there in the Oval Office. We think that the Democrats really, really care. I mean, I don't understand how they always talking about equal pay and everything else. And Maxine Waters, a millionaire, paid. I don't understand that. Most of these Democrats and some Republicans, they go into the Congress and go into government, and they're pretty much just like you and I. But then once 2 or 3 years go by, they're millionaires. That makes sense to me. If they're only getting paid $174,000 a year, how is that making sense? None whatsoever. And stuff like this outrages me because of the simple fact we're being naive to what's going on in our country. No, I can't be mad at people that standing up for America because you know why? This is where we live. Would you not defend your own home? Would you just let anybody just intrude your home? Why do you have locks on your door? Why do you got to pay tickets or pay money to get into Disney World if people don't want borders at the south border? They don't want borders, but they don't want people from Canada to come in, but people from the southern border can come in. Make it make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, let's see what here Miss Francis says. Oil industry is big where I live and a lot of refineries in my area. But remember, President Biden was saying, even for those in Pennsylvania and a lot of those places, that he wouldn't stop fracking. But now all he's pushing, even in this big old bill, he's talking about green energy and, climate control and that we're going through climate control. But some scientists are saying that the earth is actually cooler. Even in this hurricane season, I'm being honest, this is one of the most mild hurricane seasons I've seen in some years. Most mild. It hasn't been that bad. Not saying that it hasn't been any, catastrophic hurricanes, but it hasn't been as bad as it's been in past years. So I don't understand what all this global warming and all this foolishness is coming up with, because I feel like this is another way to have a money grab. And then a power grab, because you're controlling people. Today, I saw the most idiotic thing, and this trips me out, because I'm saying to myself, if you see a doctor that's in a hospital, he would not be walking around in a mask unless he's doing surgery, pre-COVID, right? But I'm seeing idiots drive around by themselves in their car with mask on. Make that make sense? You're in the car by yourself. I thought that Dr. Fraud said the only time you need to wear a mask is if you're within 6 feet of someone, right? So make it make sense. How is it that you wearing a mask and you walking down the street by yourself? Man, we look like fools out here, man. God made us with our face. We shouldn't people be able to see when you smile? Like, we got to smile with our eyes, like, so people can think that we're smiling. This is ludicrous to me. And I know that people have many debates about if the masks work or if it don't work, if the jab work or if it don't work. We don't know. But what we know is they did a lot of those studies on mannequins. They've never did them on humans. We know that the only mask that really work is the N95 mask. And then the masks that we wear them every day. Most of us don't change them out, as doctors do. When they get done with the mask, they throw it away. But you walk around, you catching all this bacteria on your mask. Then you take that same mask off, and then you take that same mask and put it back on your face. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make no sense. And I remember last year around this time where gas was about, I think it started creeping up around this time. But for the most part, gas wasn't even hitting $2 in most states. Let's put it that way. I'm in North Carolina. Gas wasn't hitting no high of no, as we see in California, almost $8 a gallon. Do you know how much money it would take to fill up an SUV, or to fill up a van, or to fill up something that's bigger than a 4-cylinder? It's just a 4-cylinder. If you put in at $8 a gallon and you got 15 gallons, that's a lot of money. And then we have Carrot Top Psaki, that's what I call it. I know it's Saki, but Psaki, because she full of it. She's talking about the reason why the prices and things are so high and things are so slow is because of the demand and because people are getting more money. Miss Francis, yeah, 189, that sounds about right. 189. And now we having to pay higher gas prices to get to the grocery store, only to pay higher prices for the food that we buy. My mom said she went to several stores on yesterday just to find bottled water. It was just not there. It wasn't there. I mean, and we don't see that this is a problem. This is not just hurting Republicans or conservatives. This is hurting everybody. Democrats, the whole nine. Every American is feeling this, unless you are a millionaire and you're making all this money. And then, President Biden, I mean, Marjorie should have said something about him wanting to investigate people's transactions over $600. So if you go out here and buy a living room suit or a kitchen dinette set or a new bed, and if it's over $600, now you got to be watched for that. Something wrong with that picture, man. And most of us who just want to be naive to the whole fact of what's going on. What's going on, Dragon Slayer? What's going on with you, sir? Okay, ma'am, let's see here. You just paid $2.69 for gas. Well, that's not too bad, considering in North Carolina, it's $3.19, $3.29, depends on where you go, and that's for regular. If you use premium like I do, in one of my vehicles, it's $3.89 a gallon. Your rent is $630. I wish mine was $630, Miss Francis. My rent is $1,000. My rent went up this year $112. And it normally go up maybe $15 a year, but this year was a weird year. And my rent went up $112. So again, they want to push the socialism and all this stuff that, let's put everybody on the same playing field and let's do equity and all this. Nah, equity means that, if I take my behind to work on days I don't feel like it and have to do what I have to do to survive, then the next person should be able to do it too. All these people walking around here, I'm carrying Black Lives Matter signs and all this stuff. Clearly, you have the ability to get up and walk and move. So you need to go get a job. That's just my opinion. And for the record, I do not support Black Lives Matter. I don't support it at all. But let's talk about Dr. Fraud real quick. because Fauci fraud has lied. And I just wonder why Merrick Garland, the AG, is not focusing on that, but you want to focus the FBI on parents that have a problem with you teaching their kids CRT or teaching them sexual immoralities that they don't want their children to know. You had a parent that had a child that was raped. When I say allegedly, because they want to fact check everything, that was allegedly raped at a school, and that school board tried to hide it. And yeah, he went up there and went nuts. Any real father or mother would have done that in that case. I'm not even a biological father, but I promise you this: if something like that happened to one of my nieces or nephews or somebody that I knew, I'd be up in somebody's face too, especially if you're trying to cover it up. So now you want to use the FBI to basically follow people and look at people like, hey, because I'm setting up for my children. Do the government really think they own us or own people and their kids, and they can teach their kids what they want to teach them? I mean, Joyce Behar, should I say, said on The View when she was on there with Kamala Rice, I want to say 2 days ago, well, if the parents don't like what the teachers are teaching, just pull them out of school. And guess what? A lot of parents have. But guess what? When all the parents started homeschooling or putting their kids in private school, the public school funding shouldn't have changed. I believe in school choice. I think that a child should be able to go to the school that best serves them. But you want to teach kids how to masturbate. You want to teach kids about, the LGBTQ. That should be things that the parents talk to their kids about. Yes, when I was in school, we learned about sex ed, but we learned about, pretty much, how a baby is born. We learn about, as far as the male genitalia and the female genitalia. We learn about certain things, but we want to learn about no anal sex. We wasn't learning about, or doing a role playing about talking about, well, let's act like the LGBTQ. Let's do all this stuff. We wasn't doing that. And I'm talking from an experience or a person that lived in the homosexual lifestyle for 20-something years. I did that in my life. And I speak out vehemently against that because I didn't realize how much I was contributing to this depopulation of humanity. That was personal for me. And then, too, I wanted to be what God created me to be. God did not create me to do that. He did not create me to do that. And at one time, sodomy was against the law. Now they're trying to make it lawful. Y'all, this stuff it doesn't make sense. And I know that I'm supposed to have been on a script, as we say, that, you should stay with the facts. But I'm just kind of going with where my spirit is taking me, and I'm just flowing with that. I'm going to go here and see what Dragon Slayer is saying right quick. She says, Merrick Garland's family wrote, instituted and made billions on every school in this country with their CRT curriculum. That's why Merrick Garland's having the FBI check parents. I agree, but they don't want to talk about his son-in-law that is going out here and peddling and perpetuating this foolishness as well. They don't see a conflict of interest. It's funny to me how the Democrats, and I'm just saying this because it seems like it's always one-sided. How is it that it's always rules for thee and not for me? We've seen President Biden without a mask. We've seen a lot of these Nancy Pelosi and all of them, and I don't like Cruella de Vil. Can I put that on record? I don't like her. It's something about her that is very evil, and that, and I pray that she get redemption. I pray that God do something with her, but right now that woman is evil. Chuck Schumer, and let me talk about Mitch McConnell real quick, because he's no better. He's not any better because he walks around here and act like he's a true Republican. And I hear a lot of people saying, well, Donald Trump, he's changed the Republican Party. No, what happened is most conservatives have been feeling this way. He just kind of gave us a voice. And so everybody's echoing that because it needs to be said. I mean, some of the things that we did in the past work. If it worked, leave it alone. If nuclear families work, if a mother and a father being in the home, teaching their kids balance work, then we should leave that alone. But no, you want to disrupt, because that's what Black Lives Matter says. We want to disrupt the nuclear family. Why? Because most kids that come out of a nuclear family, a mother and a father, not a trans mother or a trans father, I mean a natural biological mother and father, they comes out of their home most times, even Obama said that their chances of going to jail is very slim. Most of them get their education, because if you're not getting it from one parent, you're getting it from another. And I'm speaking from a black man that was raised by a single mother. My single mother, she taught me, one, godly values. She taught me the Bible. She told me what the Bible says. Even when I was living in that homosexual lifestyle, my mama told me what scripture said. My mama never okayed and said, well, you know what, Dante, it's okay for you to be gay. She told me she loved me. She told me that all the time. I love you, son, but that's not what God created you to be. And I went through many years of turmoil and pain because of me trying to fight something that God created me to be. God created me to be a man. He gave me a penis, and I'm not trying to be lewd here. He gave me a penis for a reason. So I understand that. I'm not going to go out here and cut it off because of how I feel. Some days you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Almond Joy have nuts. Mouse don't. If you want an Almond Joy, eat the one with nuts. If you want a mouse, eat the one without it. It's just that simple. That's how you feel. Feelings change every day. I don't know why I'm going here, but I'm just, like I said, I'm just flowing with what I hear the Spirit saying to me. And there's a lot of people that are walking around here. Like I said, I went through molestation. I went through it all. And this is what I feel like this curriculum that they're trying to push, and some of this stuff they're trying to push on our students and our children, is that they're trying to push where if somebody touched them in a pedophilic way, if that's a word, or a pedophile touched them, they would think that is natural. They would think that is okay because you're telling them that if you touch yourself and it feels good, then it's okay. So if somebody touching you in a place that you have already deemed feels good, then you're not going to really fight against it because it feels good. I don't understand this. And you know what? And I'm with you on that, Miss Francis. But our pastors, most of them are bought and paid for too. Let's keep it real. You don't see Joel Osteen talking about this stuff. You don't see T.D. Jakes talking about this stuff. You don't see all these big time mega preachers talking about this stuff. What they're doing is they're becoming more woke. Like Ty said last night, and I agree with him, most of these preachers have become woke because they have come a part of this whole system because they know it gets them money and clout and notoriety. But people that stand up for the truth, like this Pastor Bishop Wooden that I always post, I'm telling you, this man don't get as much clout, but he's saying the truth. See, the thing is right now, what we have a suppression of is truth. Nobody wants truth, and we're falling in love with a lie. How is it that we're falling in love with a lie? Tell me you love me, even if you don't mean it. That is ludicrous to me. And that's what most people did when they voted for this clown that we got up in the White House, is that they voted for him because they were saying it doesn't matter that you may have said some racist things in the past. It doesn't matter if you have locked up many of black people. It doesn't matter. Just tell us a lie and we'll love you anyway. But then when you had Trump telling you the truth and he came out and asked the question, what do you have to lose? Y'all had a problem with that. When he said that, there was good people on both sides, y'all had a problem with that. But y'all don't want to see that when Black Lives Matter was out here chanting and burning up stuff and looting, that there was good people on both sides. And when I say that is that you had some people that was literally out there, genuinely protesting because that's their First Amendment right to protest. But then you had some fools out there that wanted to get some free Nikes. You had some fools out there that wanted a new iPhone. You had some fools out there that wanted to break in there and steal cartons of cigarettes. You had them kind of fools. You had them kind of fools that burned down churches and that was sitting up here, killing police officers. But yet you want to talk about January the 6th and you want to talk about an insurrection? You want to talk about an insurrection? Only one person got killed by a gun, and it did not come from a conservative. It came from an officer that was so negligent to leave a gun in the bathroom unattended. But yet and still, y'all are, I ain't gonna say y'all because y'all smarter than that, but a lot of these idiots, they put up with this foolishness because it makes them feel good. Man, we got to get out of our feelings. We got to get out of our feelings. And I see these comments and I'm definitely going to get back to them, but I'm trying to flow so I don't lose the train of thought that I have. We got to get out of our feelings because our feelings are ever changing, ever changing. Sometimes you have a headache. You take a headache pill, or maybe if you just pray, the headache goes away. Now you're not feeling bad anymore. Feelings are always changing. One thing about the truth is the truth going to forever stand. What God said about this world is not going to return back void. Whatever God said, it shall be. And I know that we have people of power thinking they can change God. They can't change God's mind. What God has said about you and me, that is what it is. Period. Point blank. And I agree with you. January the 6th, hey, there's a bunch of fools that's on that. And I really think that, honestly, I think there was some rhinos and some Democrats that got together and colluded to do this stuff. That's just my opinion. Now, I may be wrong, because there was so many of them, like Lindsey Graham. I'm gonna put up a $500,000 to go against Trump's defense fund for this, alleged voter fraud, right? But yet and still, when it came down to January the 6th, it was, we need to move on. Joe Biden is the president. I can't even say it because it's funny just saying it. Joe Biden is the what? He's the president of who? The nursing home or the basement that he came out of? Y'all, we cannot make this stuff up. And I think a lot of Democrats, as you've seen that when Marjorie was giving down the rundown, there is 40% of Democrats saying that Joe Biden need to be impeached. Now, I'm quite sure some of that percentage of that 40%, they voted for that guy that we have, that I think is running the White House. I think he's running the country. I think, because I believe Obama was the one that said that if he could sit in the basement and basically speak in a microphone and had somebody out front speaking, that he would do it. So I think that's what's going on. And I wonder, will Joe Biden, would he fire Fauci? Because Fauci has lied. Fauci lied. He lied. He said that there was no gain of function at the Wuhan lab. And then the NIH, the people that he's a director for, came out and said that they did. Okay, just reading the text real quick. So just got a confirmation from Burberry86. He will be doing his live tonight. So, but I'm telling you, man, the American people just want the truth. And I think it's so wrong for them to walk around acting like we can't handle that. Like, just tell us the truth. Because the truth going to maybe hurt me one time, but if you keep lying to me, that's going to make me more incensed and more upset. Just tell me the truth. Hey, Dina, what's going on? That's my sister. Happy birthday to her. Everybody, Angel, Soul, and me, I'm telling you, tell her happy birthday. It's her birthday, man. Love her, love her, love her. Because I remember when she was trying to tell me, about Trump, because I was undecided. I was like, man, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Well, I just won't vote at all. But the Lord would not let me sit quietly and not do something, because I would have felt that it was unfair for me to speak about something that I didn't participate in. So I participated. So I voted for Trump actually 2 terms. And the thing was, and I said it right, 2 terms. Because we know they want to come up here with this, committee that's full of Democrats, right? They want to have a committee for the January 6th. But no conservatives or Republicans can be on that committee. It's going to be biased. It's going to be one-sided. That's just like talking to a bunch of heterosexuals about the LGBT. They're going to have their slanted view on things. And just like we talk to the LGBT about a TQ, about the heterosexuals, they're going to have their own slant on it. But if you mix it up, you maybe can have some kind of discourse and conversation. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, I do. I get it. They don't get it. Let me stop denying that I don't get it, because I get it. But let's go to Dr. Fraud real quick, and let's see how he is lied. Let's go there real quick. We're gonna try to wrap this up, because I'm not trying to be alone. Y'all got me doing this live stuff. I normally do a video and post and go, but I feel like in order for me to be able to get in more contact with you guys and to be able to appreciate you, I got to do it in real time. And so I appreciate everybody. Like I said, y'all know I'm not here for money. I'm not here for that. I'm here for truth. I speak truth because it needs to be heard. I mean, you don't sell truth. You give that away. Just like Christ gave us grace. He gave us grace. He didn't make us pay for it. He gave us love. He didn't make us pay for it. So if it's freely given, freely give. That's just the way I look at it. Now, if y'all want to support, it ain't gonna knock it, because I'll take it to bless somebody else with it. You know me. My sister on here, she'll tell you, I'm a person that will bless somebody. Burberry86, my dude, he on here. So again, tonight, 8:00 Eastern time, and then you figure it out if you're on the Pacific or whatever side you're on. You figure that out. But anyway, let's go to Dr. Fraud real quick. And well, this is when the question was asked to Merrick Garland at that sham hearing that they had the other day, what they was going to do about Dr. Fraud. And this is what he had to say. So let's go to it real quick. Let's go to it. Let's go.
On May 24th, 2021, under oath before a congressional committee, Dr. Anthony Fauci denied the National Institute of Health provided any funding for gain-of-function research, saying, quote, that categorically was not done, close quote. Today, this very day, the NIH issued a statement contradicting that testimony, which suggests that Dr. Fauci may have committed perjury. This is a criminal offense, and I'm left to wonder if you intend to look into that and send a communication such as a letter or a memo similar to the October 4th memo that you issued regarding parents going to school board meetings to investigate Dr. Fauci's potential perjury.
Again, I'll refer to the long-standing governmental norm that we don't comment about investigations pending or impending. The general point that you're making normally would come with a referral from the relevant committee.
The actual point I'm making is you chose, as a response to a letter from the National School Board Association, and as you said earlier today, newspaper accounts, to issue a memorandum to organize task force and investigate and put a chill on parents' participation before school boards. Now you say, I didn't mean to provide a chill, but that's exactly what any sentient being would have assumed would happen when you asked the federal government to begin looking into this. Of course parents are going to be nervous now. Of course people will step back. That's the purpose of my questioning. So when we get to these things like Zuckerberg, Facebook, Kamala Harris, we get to Dr. Fauci's purported perjury. There's no indication. You didn't hold back. You issued a press release. You see the distinction.
Now, as y'all see, these fools are fools. They are fools. Now, Merrick Garland, I think that you should be coming down harder on Dr. Fraud than you are parents that have a problem with their kids being taught to hate. Or you have teachers telling white kids that you should feel bad about who you are because your family owns slaves or you come from descendants of slave owners. Well, let me bust a bubble real quick. Don't we know that black people own slaves too? Don't we know that black people participated in slavery? And if we are not doing it physically these days, we're sure heck doing it mentally. We're helping people stay in. I'm sorry, there's echo. Sorry about that. And I don't know, that's my fault. So forgive me for the echo. But that's why I'm gonna get me some headphones. I'm ordering some today so we can do better with that. But you're upset because parents are getting in people's face or speaking loudly about what they feel. When people are angry, they don't usually whisper. Joe Biden does. Joe Biden whispers. When he's upset, he whispers. That looks like a fool, right? No, when you upset, you talk loud. When you mad, you put some vibrato in your voice. You talk loud because you want to get your point across. You don't whisper like Joe Biden. And we think that's okay. Even during the debates, I could not understand for the life of me why people was even supporting that nut because he was crazy. He was talking crazy then. And Kamala Harris, we already know she ain't doing nothing. She ain't doing nothing unless it's Willie Brown. I take that back. That was mean, Dante. You shouldn't have said that. It's the truth. We know what she did to get in her positions of power, and they didn't even want her. Truthfully, President Biden didn't even want her, but the Democrats said you got to put a black face up there, which now she's just a vice president of color. She's not even black, right? She's not even black. And people running around here with their chucks and pearls on. And look what we got. Two people that's pretty much heads of state, and they're both out of their mind. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. We forgot that she was locking people up for truancy because kids can go to school. You see, you weren't thinking about the fact that those single parents, that you got the daddies out of the households, because the Democrats did that. You know what I'm saying? Because you made the women depend on big government, because you knew big government, when it came to the fathers, they could not compete. So what you did was, I'm going to give you food stamps. I'll give you little checks every month. I'll be better to you than that man could ever be. Instead of letting that man be with that family, and that family, if they had to struggle to thrive, then so be it. They would have been much more appreciative, because what we got now is a lot of entitled, bad children, because the parents are too busy trying to be friends with their kids. Let me put this on record as well, because see, I like to put stuff on record. My mom is my mom. We're friendly. We're not friends. Me and my mom will never be friends, ever be friends, because I respect her title as my mother. So even when I get mad at her, I got to watch what I say and how I say it, because a lot of people don't understand why a lot of these young people are being took out of this earth early, because God said you must honor your mother and father. Yeah, see, I got to be myself. I can't just be political all day, because I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So you go get that part of me too. I'm not going to just give you one side of me. Go get the truth from me. So when we have to honor our mother and father, the Bible says, so your days will be long upon this earth. A lot of these young people are really, and the parents are complicit in some of their children leave here early. And then they won't stand up when their kids bring guns in the house. I'm gonna tell you something. What my mom did when she found out my brother was trying to call himself sell drugs. My mom was one of them real moms that said, okay, you want to sell drugs? I'll call the police myself. I don't need your drug money. I don't need it. And my mom was a single parent of 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. My mom said, I don't need your drug money. I work. And whatever I got, whatever I could buy y'all, I'll buy y'all. We never went hungry. We never went without clothes on our back. And guess what? With her being a single parent, we wore name brand shoes. I don't understand. We wore name brand stuff, so it wasn't light. But my mom had this goal, and we stayed in the projects. But my mom, at the age of 7, well, my age of 7, my mom said, you know what? I'm getting out of projects. We haven't lived in the project since. I'm in my 40s now. My mom and my sisters, all of them are homeowners. My brothers, all of them, they're homeowners. Now me, I'm just kind of so on the draw, because I like being comfortable in my apartment. I really don't like moving. But if I was to move, I wouldn't go out here and go get no $300,000 house. For what? For what? For me to lose it in this market? I don't think so. Exactly, Miss Francis. Your parents can be your friends. Let me put some of these things on the screen here. You know, Dragon Slayer. You know what I'm saying? You can't be your kids' friends these days, because see, what they need right now is parents. Parents don't always give their kids what they want. Sometimes the parents say, hey, you deserve to be disciplined today, because what you did is worthy for discipline. You can't reward your kids when they have bad behavior. And this is what I see the government want to do, because BLM got rewarded for them going around tearing up communities that most of the Black people they said it was fighting for were hurt by. They got rewarded. George Soros rewards them. These liberals are being rewarded for the foolishness that they're perpetuating out here. They're getting rewarded. And then when you speak up for truth, you get censored and you get, doxxed, all this craziness. If you stand up because you say, I don't want to put that EBGB juice in my body, because I just rather take care of my immune system, eat healthy, exercise, get plenty of rest, and be good to my immune system as has been good to me. And I don't want to take the solution that y'all perpetuating that everybody should take. Colin Powell, God rest his soul, and I'm not saying this to be evil, but Colin Powell was, quote unquote, fully jabbed, right? And he still died from complications of COVID. So my question is, did he die from the complications of that thing, the Moraine, or did he die from the jab? I don't know. We don't know. Will we ever know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I agree with you, Miss with Dragon Slayer. If you discipline your children when they're small, they don't grow up doing wrong. And I'm gonna tell you this: even the Bible says that mischief is in the heart of the child, but the rod of correction draws it far from them. Listen, I know a lot of people don't believe in spankings or whatever the case may be, and you got to parent your children how you want to parent them. But I would say this: I grew up and I got spankings, and I got beat. Let's just call it what it was. My mama beat me, but look what I turned out to be. And I know they say it makes some people angry, it makes them violent. I'm not violent at the least. I don't want to hurt nobody. I will defend myself, but I'm not out here trying to start trouble, get up in nobody's face and trying to fight people and being like some of these dudes out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that, Dragon Slayer. I 100% agree with that. I believe that 100%. But I'm not out here trying to start no trouble. You know, so you got to discipline your kids. You know, it was a time where my mom gave me a timeout, and then it was a time when she said time's up. And when time was up, that means that, you know, I was going to get the rod of correction. And I promise you, the things that I used to do, I didn't do no more. I didn't do it no more. Exactly. You know, use that. Hey, do what you got to do. Because my mom said this, is that I'd rather spank your behind and correct you than to have you go through the jail system and for them to rehabilitate you. I'd much rather do what I have to do as a parent. This is a stain on parents that, you know, when your kids are out here being disruptive and being unruly, and then instead of you checking your child, you checking the person that checked your child. When I was growing up, it was a community effort. Like the thing they really want to push, like socialism now. Socialism wasn't what we did back in the hood, but it was a kind of everybody looked out for everybody. If your kid got out of hand, the neighbor could check you. And when you went to the parent didn't get mad at the other parent or the other adult in the neighborhood. They talked to us. There was no way in the whole heaven and hell we can go and tell on an adult. Now, if an adult was doing something wrong, we should have been able to tell. And that's something that's a whole different story for a different day, because they would tell you to be seen and be seen and not heard. And I think that's a problem. But there's a way to say things to your parents or to people of positions of power without being disrespectful. When you have Joe Biden that was talking to the Black Caucus or the NAACP, whatever they call their group, when he was talking to them, he was talking to them like they was children. And they allowed it. But then yet and still, and this is a white man, right? But he can talk to them any kind of way and they take it. But then if somebody, a white person from around the way say something to you, you want to holler racism. Is racism in America? Of course it is. Is it on the scale they talking about? No. Racism is not. I'm in the South, man. I have more white people talk to me than black. When I go in the store, white people talk to me. They have conversations with me. And I don't wear a sign saying I'm a conservative. I don't wear a sign saying I'm a Christian. I don't do that. But they talk to me. It's my people that look like me that be mean mugging me. It's the people that look like me that's walking around with their pants off their behind and don't understand where that come from, that prison mentality. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I keep saying I don't understand, but I do understand. Let me stop speaking that on myself. I know right now it seems like we're without hope. I know that this world and this country seems like we have no hope. But if we read in the Bible, not one jot or tittle has fallen to the ground. Everything God said has happened. But I'm telling you this, the Bible says in Hebrews 11:1, now faith is. We got to have faith for now. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Hope is in the future. So we have faith now. We got to hope for the future. We got to put our faith in place to where we believe God that our future is going to get better. We got to believe, because hope, the Bible says, it's the evidence of things not seen. So I don't see tomorrow yet, but I see tomorrow getting better. I see it and I speak it into existence. This little pink thing here, the Bible says power and life and death is in the tongue. I believe that the reason why the COVIDs or the COVID, whatever you want to call it, haven't gotten me because I speak over my body. I speak over myself. I speak well of myself. I speak well of the God that I serve. I speak well that God said he will protect me. Am I going in? Am I coming out? God said that I don't have to fear the terror by day and the arrows by night. I don't have to fear that. I don't have to fear that because if I dwell in the secret place, if I pray, if I get in my word and spend time with him, I will get answers. The Bible says the Holy Spirit will search the deep things of God and reveal it to us. A lot of us, we're worrying about legislation. We need to go back to God. A lot of people are worrying about what Donald Trump said or what Joe Biden said. But have we forgot what God said? God mandated. It's a command that we love one another, right? We got to love each other as we love ourselves. But we see this selfishness running around the world right now. It's all about me, me, me. And that's not the way it should be. No, we don't take care of people because the Bible also says a man don't work, don't eat. So, yeah, there's parts of us that we help, but we don't enable. I can help people. Helping you is getting that worm on the rod so you can learn how to fish. Enabling you is going fishing for you and giving you the fish. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And we shouldn't do that. We should help our fellow man, but we should not enable them because, see, a lot of us are running around here with our kids. And let me go back to the children real quick and the parents. Let me say this right quick. When it comes to your kids, look at it this way. I'm not just raising my daughter or my son. I'm raising somebody's husband or somebody's wife. You got to think about it that way because these children are going to be children forever. They may still always be your children, but they're not going to be kids forever. They're going to be adults one day, and they're going to go out into the world, and they're going to produce or create their own families. So the mentality of a parent, and I'm not one, but I got enough sense to know that if I had kids, that I'll be raising my son or my daughter to be somebody's husband or somebody's wife, not just a person they bounce up and down in the bed with, but no, as the Bible says, a virtuous woman, raising my daughter to be a virtuous woman, that she'll have enough sense that when her husband doing what he got to do, that she won't just squander his money away buying Louis Vuitton bags and buying, Prada shoes and all this stuff. She won't squander his money away, but she'll say, let me go buy a piece of land, something that can benefit this family, where we can push down generational wealth. And then we have men that saying, I will be the leader of my household. We got a lot of, and Ty, he touched on this last night. We was talking about, a lot of these women have usurped the authority of their leaders. And Kamala Harris, she's waiting on the moment to put that dagger in President Biden. She's waiting. In my head, in my eyes, I call her Jezebel. And I look at President Biden as Ahab. Ahab couldn't quote unquote win the presidency without Kamala, because Black people wouldn't have voted for him. He did it twice and failed. This third time, he had some assistance. But I look at her as Jezebel. I don't look at her as a woman that stands up for righteousness. Then I don't understand how she goes around here and she want to go to the Black church in Virginia and tell them what thus says the Bible. But yet and still, she don't even celebrate Christianity. She's not even a Christian. And nobody's calling her out on this. But yet and still, they'll play these videos in the Black church. Because every 2 to 4 years, here they come. And Black people are so emotional. That's why we see a lot of hucking and bucking in the Black church. Because they're emotional. That's why we say there's a difference from the Black church and the white church, because the Black church is more entertaining, because people they're going to come out with their calisthenics. Where I see a lot of white people in their churches, they're just absorbing the information. And they may say hallelujah and glory to God or whatever, but they're not with all the theatrics and cutting flips and yeah, they're not waiting on the organ to hit that chord or the drummer to hit that beat. They sitting there getting the word. I don't understand. So at this point, I just want to let y'all know all hope is not lost. We that are in Christ, we know that at the end of the story, we win. We win. We win. I didn't mean to be so heavy today. I didn't mean to come like this with a knife. I mean, I just wanted to just come and have a conversation, but I kind of came out swinging today. And You know, you guys with y'all talking in the comments, y'all kind of help push that. Y'all get me to say the things I normally wouldn't say, or I wouldn't say on camera. But I ain't afraid to say it on camera or off camera. It don't bother me either way. And you know what? And back in the day, you understand that you say in the you're a 60s baby, and I don't remember corporate prayer or Bibles in schools, but we did have quiet time so we can pray if we wanted to. And no one I knew got in trouble if they prayed or brought their Bible. Like I said, reading the Bible and praying, if you're not going to act on what you prayed about, or if you're not going to act on what you read, then it's pointless. It's pointless. Once we read and we get information and we get an understanding of the information, then we must act upon it. Once I realized the Democrats was not for me, I acted upon it. I acted. I said, nah, you won't get my vote ever again. Ever again. And I mean that. I used to do split tickets. Well, I'll vote for this Democrat because they seem like they're good people and they're nice. And some Democrats, I'm not going to say they're all bad, because you got some Democrats that are really conservatives. They just don't want to admit that because they've been told that conservatives are racist. They've been told conservatives are racist. But if you talk to more black people, most black people are against abortion. Most black people are against same-sex marriages. Most. And they're not going around here spitting hate. And that's another thing I want to speak on really quickly, is that they run around here talking about you're a homophobe because you don't agree, or you're a transphobe because you don't agree. That's not transphobia or homophobia. Phobia means fear. I don't think nobody's scared of nobody, but just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I am afraid of you. No, it seems like you have a phobia. The ones that are saying it, rather, that they're homophobic or they're transphobic or whatever. No, you have a phobia of the truth. You're scared of the truth, because I don't care if you go around here and you mutilate yourself and you cut off your male genitalia and say that you're a woman. When we do that Dana or DNA, it's going to come back you a man, bruh. You's a whole-fledged bruh. You a dude. And the same with the females. They do that blood test and they put it up under that telescope or whatever they call it, microscope. I said telescope. Microscope. They put it on there. They're going to see that you got the XY or the XX. They're going to know. So I don't understand. I don't understand this stuff. And when I say I don't understand this stuff, I don't understand these people and their thinking. But on a lighter note, I want to give some shout outs. Miss Francis, love you. Dragon Slayer, thank you for the new sub. I appreciate that. Lawrence, my guy. Lisa, what's going on? I'm just giving shout outs real quick. Sheldon, want to give you a shout out. Thank you for looking at the video. Andrew, Drinkwater. Hey, big shout out to you. Burberry, I mean, that goes without saying. Let me see who else is on the chat. I cannot say this is my Yanish. Thank you for tuning in. But on a lighter note, let me see this. Okay, on a lighter note, I want to share something. Modern Renaissance Man, he gave me a shout out last night, man, and he's bigger than me. His channel is bigger than me. I mean, he's going around the world and he's talking to everybody, so when he gave me a shout out on his live last night, I want to share that with y'all, because Ty Smith, the Modern Renaissance Man, he speaks truth to power. He's Mr. CRT, anti-CRT, rather, should you say that. He's speaking up for truth. He's speaking up. He's a minister. And I respect this man highly. I don't know if he's older than me or we're the same age. I don't know. But when I seen him shout out and he gave me some useful information, he told me, start making your presence known. Start doing stuff a little bit more. It's not all about you being famous or being, that's not what it's about. It's about truth. So I just want to share this video with y'all really, really quickly here. And then we'll go kind of wrap this up. And if y'all have any questions for me, how often do I do live? Be honest with you, Sheldon, I just started doing them. I think last week was the first time I ever did a live. And I see that people are saying, do more lives. And I normally would do it at night, but today I was just, so much was on me. So I just said, you know what, let me go on it now. I was, off today, had a funeral to attend. And so I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and go live today. Let me do it today at this time while it's on my mind so I don't forget nothing. And so that's why I went live. But so I'm going to try to do these more often. I really would like to have a panel of people that come on and we kind of talk, and kind of, play off each other. And I want to also apologize to the audience as well, because I know that there's been some people on the channel that has been using a lot of profanity. From now on, I will check that, because I honestly don't want people thinking that that's what I stand for. I don't stand for that. I mean, because I believe that you can use your words, and you can use your brain without saying idle words. And when you saying these idle words, it really doesn't have any impact. So for me, that's just on my channel, that we've got to clean it up a little bit. I let some stuff slide because I don't want to control people what they say, but I just think that people need to use more intelligence and say what they want to say, because it's easy to push out a bunch of cuss words and say a bunch of stuff that really doesn't have any energy besides negative energy. So let me go to this video with Mr. Smith and the shout out, and then we'll go wrap it up. All right. Let's go back to my screen. Let's go. Let's see if I turn this.
My God, Dante, keeping it real. He says, I thought you were playing with me, but you are live, one of my favorite YouTubers, and I did not get notified. I just did a video and shouted you out, and boom. Like a good neighbor, Ty Smith is there. No, I'm just kidding. Dante, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep on uploading videos, man. I'm telling you, I'm encouraging folks to just keep uploading videos, man. I love what you did the other day with that guy you had on there when you were debating that guy. He just, man, dude, he just was not getting it. I'll tell you right now, we are 5 minutes in. We can go ahead and kind of get on topic. I'm going to talk about a few things before I get into my main topic. But if you're in here right now, Dante keeping it real. He seemed like he got a good heart, good shoulders. He got a good head on his shoulders, going down the right path. So the ones that are here right now, y'all see it up there. His name, it says Dante keeping it real. Check out his channel. He's getting things started. Any type of encouragement, and y'all know, real good constructive criticism. Like when I first started my channel off, you guys are the ones that are responsible, pretty much. For my real followers, you guys are responsible for me going and studying my history. When I say study history, folks, y'all, look, I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all have no idea. I'm in my stuff, man. Look at this. See this? Look at this. I'm like in my stuff. Like I'm in this stuff. Those guys right there, I got this big old huge book that I get a lot of my stuff in, studying history. You guys on YouTube who's been followers of mine, you guys are responsible for it. Look, I mean, I got to say, we the people. This stuff never would have happened had I not pretty much took a lot of constructive criticism from people on YouTube, had I not went down what they call a rabbit hole. I mean, this started just from some conversations that we were having on while we were live, and people started throwing comments out at me saying, dude, you seem like you got a conservative mindset. You seem like you got this. You should go and study this. You should go and look into that. And just because I became very acquainted with a lot of people online, I did that. So yeah, again, what I'm saying that for everybody is that if you're in here and you see Dante up there, go check out his channel, because he's trying to do some things too. And there's not a lot of no. Let me take it back. There is a lot of people in this conservative type mindset, and what's awesome, there is a ton of black people whose minds are conservative. The ones I talk to in the hood, their minds are conservative, and once they realize that they're conservative, they're like, dude, I don't even understand why I'm even voting this way now. I mean, it blows their mind. So when you open them up to the realistic views of what the real world is, what's actually been done in them, they're like, wait a minute, so we've been doing this all this time, and it's amazing that a lot of people are conservative that are black, but then they vote another type of way. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm not saying it to say, you can't be conservative and vote Democratic anyway. I'm just saying when they actually put their values and their principles out there, then they realize, like, dude, then why am I going this direction? It's like, exactly. So anyway, we're saying it because Dante keeping it real is in here. Check out his channel. He's, he's posting videos. He's talking about certain topics. He's even doing things that I haven't even done yet. What I mean by that, which I don't even know how to do this yet, Dante, bro. You had to where you were able to bring up a split screen. And I'm pretty sure I got the technology to do it because I built my own computer with it. I mean, I built my computer from hands. But I just never really sat down and took the time to actually go into it and say, how can I actually press a button right now to bring somebody on to talk with me right now? And I got OBS Studios. So Anyway, again, y'all, like I said, I'm not just trying to do that, but the thing is, once you got some people that are actually trying to do something, I just encourage it. I have 60 people that emailed me, and I help them just kind of get their thing going. All I'm doing is encourage them to make videos. There's a guy that's very autistic named Colin Reisenauer. He's autistic, and he got his own YouTube thing going. He was not going to do it. I encourage him to do it. So I'm saying that, man, because everybody has some type of perspective to add to it. I don't have all the answers, but having different people give their take on it, give their perspective, give their life experience as to why they think a particular way, then that to me, that's what makes this whole thing really, really awesome. I mean, your body is made up of several parts. All those different parts have a different function. So, not everything has the answer. Y'all get what I'm saying? So anyway, so again, check out Dante. He seemed like he got a fire behind him. He follows after Christ. He seemed like, he's at a point to where, look, he's just doing it. He don't care. Same thing, he's going to be learning. I know he's going to have some stuff coming at him, but just like I tell people, once you lock onto that truth, there ain't no turning back from that, man. So, So I noticed that he talks about Christ, talks about God, and there was a guy that he was debating on his channel the other day, and I was just sitting there laughing because you're going to see, Dante, man, some people just going to be in this thing just for argument's sake. And once you are able to decipher that that's what this person is in here for, then don't even waste your time with it, because all they're doing, they literally are, I'm serious, they literally are wasting your time. And this is for everybody that's listening to me right now. This is when you're in conversation with anyone, when you are debating about certain things when it comes to
and so what I will do is put the rest of that video in the description so you can see all of Ty's videos. So I mean, the dude is on point. So to hear him take out the time, and he has way more followers than I do. Well, I don't even like to call them followers, subscribers, because we're only followers of Christ. But he has so many more subscribers, and for him to basically come off of his place of where he is to acknowledge somebody like me, little old, big old Dante. When I say big old, I'm a big guy, but big old Dante, that meant something to me. And I just wanted to tell Ty, what I'm saying, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really feel like if everybody have this mentality of helping each other build, then the sky will be the limit. And no, I ain't talking about what Nimrod them doing, trying to, build a Tower of Babel. Not saying that. What I'm saying is that if we all help each other get to that next level, then the world will be a better place. I don't have a crap mentality. I don't care about nobody doing better than me. If anything, I'm going to try to salute them. I'm going to try to show them love. I'm going to try to put them out there. Like my guy, Burberry. Burberry, when he hit the ground running. And guess what I did? Supported him. Still support him. You hear me talk about him a lot because I don't feel like, me downing this dude or talking about him because he has more people that like him better than me, or people may tune into his channel more than me. I'm not going to dog him because, as Ty said, we all have different perspectives, and we all have our audience, and we all have our people that we're going to reach. And one thing I pray that I don't care if this channel went to having 1 million subscribers or 10 million subscribers. I pray that I always stay humble. That's one thing about me, is that God has taught me how to be humble. He's taught me that don't boast in anything but me. Don't boast in yourself. Don't boast in your job. Don't boast in the things that you have, because they could be gone in a moment of a twinkling of an eye. There was many people that had plenty of money, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So, I mean, we have to put our perspectives and our priorities in the right place. And right now, it shouldn't be about Democrat, Republican. It should be about Americans, because Americans are under attack. The Christian body is under attack. And we got to be ready to defend. As the Bible said, we contend for the faith. We stand when it comes against things that come against our faith and our morals and our values. And you're not going to just let anybody come up in your home and do you no harm. You're going to defend your home tooth and nail. But yet and still they want us to let down our defenses. We don't need to do that. This time we need to stay in a position, not of defense, but offense. If you bring it, we're ready. And I'm telling you this, don't get rid of your Second Amendment right. Do not give that up. I don't care how much they put it on the news and Don Lemonade and Chris Cuomo them get on TV and lie. I don't care. You hold on to your protection. You got God as your spiritual protection, but you got to have a sword, so to speak, a pow, as we call it in the hood, or a peacemaker. You got to have something, chopper. You got to have something to defend yourself against these things that are coming against us. This warfare we're in is very spiritual, but it's manifesting naturally. We see it. We see it. Some of the things that they're pushing, and you're right, Miss Francis, the liberals fear conservatives. And like I say, the thing is, they fear us because they know we speak truth. And the only way to free people is truth. John 8:32 say, and we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free. When we know truth, we know freedom. And this is why a lot of people don't understand what Joe Biden said about Trump. He gonna lock y'all back in chains. That's what you're doing mentally. Mentally, he's locked a lot of people back in chains. I see a lot of Democrats that voted for this guy. They are not saying anything negative about him. They're not even speaking out about it. Most of my friends that's on Facebook, you say something about Biden, crickets. But if I was talking about Donald Trump, everybody's on that post. Yeah, Orange Man bad. But one thing that Orange Man did that I do respect, and if he ever changed his stance, then I would change with him too. But as long as he's standing on biblical values, yeah, he may have been pro-choice at one time, but now he's pro-life. A lot of us was pro a lot of things because we did not have the understanding. But now that we have the understanding, it's all right to change our views. It's all right. Who says that we got to stay in this monolithic thinking that we just got to be the same way, everybody got to move the same, everybody got to talk the same? Because see, that's what's going to be in the new world order. Yeah, that's what it's going to be in the new world order. People are going to be dressed alike. People are going to talk alike. Everybody going to have the same mind. But those that stand up and do something different, you're going to be the one hated. The Bible says that we'll be hated because we name the name of Christ. Because you say the name Jesus, people get offended. People get offended by the name Jesus. But if you say something about Muhammad or Buddha or Krishna and all these other false gods, they don't have a problem with it. But you say something about Christ, it's a problem. But I thought this was the land of the free and the home of the brave. What I'm seeing now is that our land of the free is not that free now. And I don't see too many brave people. And the ones that are brave, we need to support those that are brave. But we can't say it. Support somebody that will. Support somebody that will say it. I'm the kind of person, I don't really care about YouTube and them shutting me down and because I'm speaking truth. I don't care. I just don't care. And when I'm saying I don't care, it don't mean I don't care about you guys and getting the truth out there. I just don't, I'm not going to let them control me like that to where you're going to tell me how to say things when you can say what you want to say, because they can get on the news right now and talk about the big lie of 2020 that Donald Trump is out here spreading the big lie. But in 2016, they spread it, what they call the big lie, and was saying that Trump basically stole the election. And Hillary is still saying Trump stole the election. But if you say it, you get censored. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Dr. Fraud came out saying, don't wear a mask. Then he came out and said, wear 2, then wear 3. Then Walensky came out and said that if you take the jab, you won't be able to transmit COVID. Then they had to walk that back. But none of these who are being fact checked on their stuff are being held to account for the stuff they say wrong. But let a conservative say something that the mainstream media does not like. They will drag them over the coals. It doesn't make sense. I just think that if you're going to do it on one side, do it on both sides. Because those that are not in power right now, one day will. Because the Bible says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Y'all Democrats, y'all may be in power right now, but what happens when true conservatives, I ain't talking about the Republicans, because I think there's a difference between conservative and Republican. I've said it before, and I believe that the true conservatives, like the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Vernon Jones, I know some people don't like him, but some of these people that really are America first mentality kind of people, when these people get in power, then what? Then what? Y'all better be glad I can't run for office. I ain't saying I can't, But if I knew I had the support that I could run for Congress, man, I would be in there blowing Maxine Waters' wig off her head. James Brown would be on the good foot for real. I would blow Maxine Waters' wig straight back. Because these people, they need somebody that look like them to tell them the truth. Because see, if a white person said, they're going to holler racism. Nah, talk to me. We the same color, now what? I don't agree with you, and what you have done has been devastating to the black community, and not only the black community, but it's also hurt white communities, because when black people are disenfranchised and they got to go out here and rob, steal, and kill, guess what? It's some of the white people that are on the other end of that become victim. And then Mayor Lightfoot up there talking about the police. The police are basically doing the insurrection because they don't want the solution. Because they want to say, my body, my choice. Y'all can run down there to the abortion clinic and holler, my body, my choice. When you really think about it, it's really not your body, because there's a body inside of your body, idiot. It's not your body. It's another body that's being destroyed. Because if that's the case, then why isn't your lungs and your heart and your legs and your tissues being used for experiments in these things that they're coming out with? You're still alive, walking around well. It's that baby that was inside of you that they're using for research. I don't understand. How is it that black people sit up here and support a party that runs around here and want to exterminate, like Margaret Sanger said, let's get rid of these weeds? How is it that we can walk around and support a party that is down for that? I don't get it. I don't get that. Now, I understand we have some establishment Republicans. I get that. Because there's only two parties that we can vote for. They come over to American First Party or a conservative party. I'll be in that party, and I'll be voting against the Republicans, the establishment Republicans, should I say. I think I've said all I'm going to say. And I agree. I'm over here reading comments right now. It's amazing how people think that the bro... Let's go here. It's amazing how people think that the bro, I'm not religious, but I live by the word homie, is crazy. Okay, you know what? I agree. I agree with you 1000% on that, Sheldon. It's not about religion. It's not. It's about relationship, as Miss Francis said. It's about relationship. We have been taught religion, and this is why we see people act the way they act. But once you understand relationship, you won't just do it any kind of way. A real man that loves his wife, or a wife that loves her husband, she's going to respect their relationship. She's going to respect it. He's going to respect it. So we are being taught relationship with Christ. I believe that we will respond differently to some of the antics that we're seeing right now. So I agree with you. It's not about religion. You know, Christianity happened to be the what we fall up under, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I tell a lot of people, sometimes I told my pastor, I'm not a Christian, I'm a believer. And he had a big problem with that. Well, why are you not a Christian? Well, I'm of the Christian belief, but I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I am a disciple of Jesus Christ. Why do it have to be so difficult? This religion has gotten so many people messed up. And I'm telling you, like, it's just like government. And that's why I did a video before where government and religious churches, and they're kind of one and the same. You got to dress this way. You got to talk this way. You got to do it this way for it to work. But one thing about Jesus Christ, he would heal anybody. He would have a conversation with anybody. And they didn't have to be speaking in tongues for him to do it. So I don't understand why we're so deep. And that's why my church right now kind of rejected me, because I speak out and I speak truth. I'm saying you can't bash your homosexual. You can't bash him without first having a conversation with him. You bashing him, you going to hell. No, wrong response. Because the Bible lets us know we cannot condemn anybody. Okay? We don't have that power. Can we judge righteously? Yeah. It's all right to judge and be fair and be balanced. Like I would talk about my sin, just like I would talk about anybody else's sin. I talk more about my own personal sin than I do anybody else. Because you know why? Because I have a relationship with him. I have a relationship with God. It's not about religion, because religion is about, like government, make you look bad and make me look better. But relationship and say, nah, some days I want to go out here and fornicate. Yeah, some days I want to smoke a little weed because life is really hard. Some days I want to turn me a bottle up and get drunk. I mean, that's what make you tell the truth. And I think a lot of people don't like that. They just want to just be, that Christians don't go through anything and that Christians don't deal with stuff that people in the quote unquote world deal with. We deal with the same temptations. And as Ty was talking about last night, and I'm just kind of, piggybacking off a lot he said, but one thing that I was thinking about is that when you think about temptations, we're tempted with things that we like and we enjoy. Those are the things we're tempted with. The devil doesn't bring things to us that we don't want or we don't desire. I mean, if he know I don't like licorice and I don't like liver, nobody can tempt me with that because I don't like it. But if you come to me with some fried chicken or a good old Snicker bar, I might be tempted in the area, So the devil only tempts us with what we like, and that's why a lot of people are being tempted with this racism because a lot of people get a lot of enjoyment out of playing the victim when it comes to this racist thing. You can't tempt me with racism or making me take that bait, thinking that the whole world is full of racists. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. I'm not gonna take it. I'm not taking the bait. So I don't know how long I've been on here, hour and 20 minutes, and it seems like it's really been 20 minutes. I mean, because I've been enjoying this. I mean, so I don't know when I'm gonna do live again. Hey, look, y'all comment, because I know y'all commenting in the live stream, but comment on the, I guess, I don't know how to call it, but comment, because let me know if there's some topics y'all want me to talk about. Hey, because if they won't talk about it, I will. What's up, Angry Conservative? What's going on with you, sir? My guy. I'm about to wrap up, man. I love you guys, man. Share this video. Share. Don't just say it, do it. Because like I said, we got over 1,100 people that subscribe to this channel, but you get only 6 viewers or 7 viewers. I think the highest I got it was to 9. And I don't know if YouTube be throttling the notifications or whatever, but if you have not set your bell, set that bell. So when I ring it, you could be saved by the bell. I'm having fun today, man. I love you guys, man. I appreciate every last one of you. Every last one of you. I agree with you, Sheldon. I'm going to post that up there because people need to see it. You've been in this country for over 15 years and never had anyone been racist to you ever. And that's most people's story. That's most people's story. But because you had one bad encounter, like the guy was debating the other night, he had basically said that white supremacists killed his daddy. Was it white supremacists or was it just a white person that killed your daddy? We don't talk about black supremacy because look over there in Lightfoot, over there in Chicago, how we killing each other by the thousands. They don't have to worry about COVID getting to them because that Smith and Wesson, and that Smith and Wesson and that Glock, all that is getting to them and taking them out. So, it is what it is. All right, Angry Conservative. Hey, look, hey, I got you set, the bell set. So whenever you go and do the live, I will see it. I will see it. And I'm just going to say this because y'all know me. If y'all know me, if you want to support this channel, you can definitely do it this way. I do have Cash App. I do have PayPal, but I don't know how to really work it. But if you want to ever bless this channel, you can definitely do so by doing it this way. I'm the kind of person, people bless me, I bless others. I mean, I'm the kind of person that if I'm on a live stream with people, if you got Cash App, I don't really like to do the YouTube thing because I don't want to give YouTube no money. I don't want them taking a portion, but I Cash App people, and during their live because I want to be a blessing to people because I understand that people take time out of their day to do what they do and to do research or whatever. Some people do it more than I, and that has become their job. I work a job, so I don't really just say, well, y'all need to give me money. But if y'all do want to support this channel where I can get better mics and better, stuff to be able to do this easier and do it better, then I definitely do it. Put that money to that and to also bless others, that may be in need. So just want to put that out there. I love you guys, man. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And I'm about to go to get me my smoothie because I need it because I'm trying to lose weight. So get ready to drink me a smoothie and I'll talk to you guys soon. And I guess those that will be on Burberry channel tonight, I'll see you guys later tonight. All right? Peace.